Strange gates appeared all over the world. People watched in stunned silence, from deserts to ancient cities. A sense of dread began to spread, then the moment of terror arrived. A flood of monsters broke through, creatures poured out of the gates. They attacked humanity without mercy. Everyday life was shattered in an instant. This gates drove humanity to despair, pushing them to the very brink of extinction, but there was still a glimmer of hope. They were called hunters. At the same time the gates opened, people with special abilities emerged. Thanks to the efforts of these skilled fighters, a mage prepares a powerful spell and they manage to contain the monster flood. They took the fight to the bosses inside the gates. These hunters faced the dungeons head-on. They fell one after another. A lone man stands amidst the chaos. He faces a legion of powerful beasts. He hears the suffering of the fallen hunters. He draws his sword ready for battle. Blue lightning crackles around his blade. This armored wolf beast lunges forward. He stands alone, surrounded by monsters. A spark of power ignites in his eyes. In a desolate cave, a robed skeleton sits. Its empty socket flares with a blue soul fire. This flame spread, consuming the bones of the fallen. He prepares to unleash his true power. He calls upon the souls of fallen hunters, commanding them to awaken once more, to lend him their strength for this fight. This is the story of a commander of the dead, this one known as the Cursed Ghost User. His name is Raigo Kurizato. He channels the skills of legendary spirits into his sword. Raigo confronts the monsters who have taken countless lives. He vows to make them hear the voices of their victims. An army of vengeful souls stands with him. This all began after he gained this skill, after he met a powerful one-eyed ghost. This world has warriors known as hunters. They use innate skills to fight monsters hailed as heroes. But Raigo knows that's not the whole story. He walks alone, knowing not all of them are like that. A truth he learned through pain and betrayal. His hands are raw, gripping the tool tightly. This guild board is filled with job requests, but the guild master looks weary. Our boy is desperate, pleading for a chance. Other hunters recognize him with dread. They whisper of his reputation for disaster. He's known only as Calamity Raigo. This guild master lays down the hard truth. No one will hire a walking catastrophe. Only one job is left for him. Raigo is crushed by the grim reality, retrieving the belongings of the dead. It's a cursed task that steals a hunter's skills. But with no other choice, he takes the mission. He arrives at the desolate dungeon entrance. This grim instructions echo in his mind. Inside, he joins the other scavengers. They tell him the search is hopeless. Everything is buried under tons of rock. So Raigo starts digging with all his might. This hard labor yields a single mana point. He can't believe the pathetic reward. Then he remembers the real reason he's here. A flashback to when he first got his power. This system granted him a unique skill, mediumship. Our boy stands in a storm of spectral energy. Skeletal knights rise from the crackling blue light. He remembers the truth of this strange power. His skill only lets him see ghosts, a dangerous curse. He's a walking disaster, a magnet for the dead. At least this time there seems to be no curse. But then he feels a specific presence. His vision sharpens, glowing with an ethereal light. His mediumship skill activates, focusing on one soul. He recognizes the ghost from a missing hunter's file. This hunter Nakanishi died saving a teammate. Now his cursed belongings are left untouched. Our boy is moved by the man's sacrifice. A deep respect fills his eyes. This ghost of Nakanishi just keeps staring at him. A glint of metal catches his eye. A sword is planted in the ground by a skull. He understands the spirit was guarding his gear. His useless skill actually led him right to it. He approaches the fallen hunter's remains. His hand closes around the hilt of the sword. He lifts the blade from the earth. No curse, no dark energy, just cold steel. Maybe the rumors were just empty fears. He will return what was left behind. He finds a photograph of the fallen hunter's family. Raigo realizes the man had a daughter. He finally understands the man's dying wish. He pays his respects, wishing him peace, but his quiet moment is interrupted. A pair of hunters spot Calamity Raigo. This axe wielder warns his partner to stay away, but his eyes linger on our boy. He decides Raigo's gear is wasted on him. This bully snatches the fallen hunter's sword. He throws it down, calling it filthy. He fears the curse of touching a dead man's things. He calls Raigo a grave-robbing loser. His companion wonders if he's seeking his brother's items. This legendary S-rank hunter Yugo Kurizato. They realize Raigo must have lied about his rank, but Raigo grits his teeth. My brother is still alive. This axe wielder scoffs at the claim. He mocks Raigo for having to scavenge. Raigo screams for him to stop. This bully stomps hard on his hand. He declares Raigo isn't a real hunter. He tells him to crawl away and die. This spirit of the fallen hunter watches on. Raigo is left helpless on the ground. Raigo's eyes widen in disbelief. This fallen hunter's items are kicked aside. His shock hardens into pure rage. He doesn't care what they say about him, but a strange new power activates. This thief is suddenly enveloped in blue energy. Raigo channels the spirit of the fallen hunter. He roars with righteous fury. These two scavengers are frozen in terror. This immense pressure isn't from an F-rank. This fight is over. Raigo gathers the fallen man's belongings. He arrives at the Nakanishi residence. This was the hunter's home. This association told him to dispose of everything, but he knows a family would want these mementos. He rings the doorbell, determined to do the right thing. This door slowly opens. A woman and a young girl stand in the doorway. Raigo introduces himself, explaining he was in the dungeon. He presents the sword and the bag. This girl lets out a heart-wrenching cry. She grabs the hilt, knowing it's her father's. As she sobs, an old man appears behind her. Her grandfather's face contorts with rage. This father's face twists in fury. He glares at the fallen hunter's belongings, then he points at our boy, calling him filthy. A cane cracks against the kid's shoulder. This man insists his B-rank son couldn't have died. He accuses our boy of orchestrating the death. Beside him, the hunter's mother sobs. This kid tries to explain he never knew the man, but the father threatens to ruin his hunter career. He realizes they see the items as a curse. He takes the belongings to the official storage area. Inside memorials for the dead line the room. Gear from countless fallen hunters is piled high. He clasps his hands, apologizing to Nakanishi. He turns to leave the items in their final resting place. Suddenly, a blue flame erupts from the bag. He spins around, startled by the strange energy. He whispers the name of the fallen hunter. A system window appears, mediumship activated. His eyes glow with an intense blue light. A spirit materializes from the fire. Our boy apologizes for failing to bring him home, but the spirit of Nakanishi smiles gently. A flashback reveals the kid's own brother is missing. He just wanted to bring a fellow hunter's things home. This kid apologizes for acting on his own. He stands in somber, guilty silence. A memory flashes back, a breaking news report. His S-rank hunter brother Yugo was killed. This family's world shattered in an instant. He remembers the whispers, the blame, the curses. His hand tightens on his bone sword. But Nakanishi's spirit appears, dismissing his sorrow. This kid asks if he's seen his brother over there. This spirit just smiles, crackling with energy. Our boy feels he isn't cut out for this life. He questions his entire purpose as a hunter. He refuses to accept his brother is dead because he can't see his ghost, a power he has. He became a hunter just to find him, but his own weakness is a prison. His brother was strong, surrounded by comrades, while he is and always has been alone. A hand suddenly rests on his shoulder. Nakanishi's spirit offers silent support. This kid realizes the spirit is shaking his head. A gentle smile, a gesture to follow him. This blue energy surges, pointing the way forward. It erupts into a roaring pillar of fire. He stares in disbelief. It's a gate. He screams, demanding why Nakanishi did this. A strange fiery energy suddenly pulls him in. He's dragged into a swirling vortex of light. Powerless to fight the immense force, his body is consumed by the digital chaos. But from the light, a new silhouette appears. A man in a red-lined coat watches him. His single eye gleams with cruel intent. This kid stands before the fiery portal, a gate. He remembers screaming Nakanishi's name. He remembers being pulled inside, tumbling through the chaotic tunnel of energy. He crashes onto the cold stone floor of a dungeon. Dazed and in pain, a sword lies beside him. He frantically searches for an escape route. He knows his weak abilities are a death sentence, but every archway is a solid wall. This crushing realization hits him. There's no exit. A sudden sound makes him whip around. This sealed wall behind him cracks with light. A monstrous bull, the shadow flame, bursts through. He understands now it's a quest-type dungeon. To escape, he must defeat the boss, trapped in a high-difficulty gate completely alone. This beast's horns glow with destructive energy. This electric beast lunges forward. He's sent flying across the cavern. Pinned down, he stares up at the monster. Its horns are momentarily caught in the rock, but he's out of strength, out of options. He sees a sword stuck in the ground. It's Nakanishi's blade, a forgotten promise. He can't die yet, not until he returns it. Reaching for it triggers a system warning. His desperate wish unlocks a hidden skill he doesn't understand. He accepts, activating Songs Beyond the Grave. A spectral form begins to materialize. His eyes glow as a new voice echoes. A woman with an eye patch appears, unimpressed. He realizes a ghost is speaking to him. She stares back, her gaze cold as ice. She tells him to get up or die. This bull finally breaks free, roaring. This spirit calls him pathetic and weak, but she insists there's still a chance. You have a sword, don't you? He sees only a broken hilt in despair. This spirit listens to his self-pity. He has completely given up on himself. A flashback to a furious mob. They surround a woman, calling her a traitor. A blade flashes across her eye. She screams, betrayed by the people she saved. Their leader calls her a witch. She's blamed for leading them all astray. They tie her to a stake, consumed by fire. Her final moments are a scream of agony. This memory fades, revealing the eye patch commander. She grits her teeth, the past still raw. She looks down on the defeated boy. She tells him his spirit is already dead. She demands to know why he won't fight back. She remembers her own helpless end. She was also called a traitor and burned alive. She commands him to get up. His weakness disgusts her, a mirror of her past. She vows to force him to fight for his life. This boy trembles under the immense pressure. He grips his sword, struggling to rise. He plants the blade in the ground for support. A monstrous roar shatters the silence. A massive fiery bull beast emerges. This boy screams, paralyzed with fear, but he stands his ground, ready for the fight. This white-haired spirit smiles, satisfied. She approves of his newfound will to live. She sees him as a kindred spirit in regret. She offers to lend him a fraction of her power. This broken sword ignites with brilliant blue energy. This power surge is too much for Raigo. He screams as the energy courses through him. His consciousness begins to fade away. This bull monster roars, ready for the clash. This spirit's voice warns him to hold on to himself. She tells him this is his fight to win. She finally reveals her true identity. She is the warrior of divine will, Jean Dark. A system window confirms Jean has possessed the sword. Now she wants to see his struggle. She wants to witness how he chooses to live. Raigo's eye burns with borrowed power. He charges forward to meet the beast. This scene cuts to a memory 2 years ago. A younger Raigo doubts he can be a hunter. His brother asks why he's laughing at himself. Raigo looks up, startled by the question. His brother tells him not to mock his own worth. Raigo is stunned, unable to believe the praise. His brother insists that his skill is incredible. This silver-haired man grins, demanding to see him struggle. He wants to see how our boy lives with his curse. A blast of pure blue energy erupts from his hand. This scene shifts to a demonic fiery bull. It snarls, wreathed in dark, crackling power. This ground trembles with a mighty stomp. Our boy screams, channeling lightning into his sword. This blade suddenly ignites with golden fire. He grips the hilt, ready for the fight. With a powerful swing, he meets the charging beast. This bull roars, surrounded by its own inferno. He stands his ground against the monster's rage. Watching from afar, the eye-patch man looks surprised. This kid has a sudden, shocking realization. He understands the sword holds Jean Dark's burning spirit. With this new knowledge, he finds his courage. He screams, believing he can finally win this, but the bull prepares a devastating fire blast. His confidence shatters in an instant. He raises the sword as a magic circle flares to life. He's stunned by the incredible defensive power. This sword is absorbing the monster's flames. This beast unleashes its full fiery power. He's thrown back by the overwhelming force. This silver-haired man laughs, taunting his failure. Raigo panics with no clear plan of attack. This monster's flames are just too fast. He's cornered until a blue wisp appears. A vision floods his mind, a past battle. Spectral warriors fought to protect their comrades. One was caught in the beast's fire, screaming for a healer. He held the line, telling everyone else to run. Raigo watches the ghosts still fighting after death. He understands now. Even in death, their frustration remains. This pain of their failure never faded, unending sorrow, joys they never got to have. This guilt of not protecting their friends consumes them. He realizes all ghosts are bound by regret. A voice calls out his name, Raigo, reminding him of his power to feel others' pain, and in that moment everything clicks. His power is to hear the nameless dead and answer their final call. He turns to the spectral warriors. Their leader commands them to gather. It is time to combine their strength. One spirit screams his desire to win, another cries wanting to save her friends. A third just wants to go home to her family, a final desperate cry for release. Countless spectral hands reach out, pouring all their hope into his sword. This eye-patch commander realizes he's rallying the dead. This blade ignites with their fiery will. This fallen entrust Raigo with their strength. He unleashes their combined battle cry. Together with the ghosts he attacks, this shadow flame boss is finally defeated. This spirits erupt in celebration. Their long-awaited victory has come. Raigo stands among them, bruised but smiling. They fade away, finally finding peace. This battlefield falls silent again. Our boy is left alone among the fallen. He offers a quiet, grateful smile. He promises to help them all go home. This white-haired woman watches from afar. A slow, impressed smile spreads across her face. She's amazed he could rally so many low-level ghosts. Now she understands how he summoned her. He might be the one to break her curse. Raigo stands tall, holding a skull, but the immense power takes its toll. He collapses to the ground, utterly exhausted. This eye-patch knight watches him unimpressed. She dismisses his exhaustion as pathetic, but our boy holds the borrowed sword. He knows he has to return it. A note is left at a mailbox. A young schoolgirl finds it. It leads her to an old house, a place of memories. She stands nervously at the doorway, her eyes widen in surprise. Inside are flowers, a bag, and her father's sword. Tears well up in her eyes. She kneels, clutching the blade, finally able to mourn. From the shadows, our boy in the night watch. He's stunned to learn a new rule. Jean can leave the dungeon, but only with him. A realization hits him hard. If the dungeon is empty, it can be sold. He stands before the dungeon gate with two men. They're here to discuss buying the mining rights. A system message explains the transaction. This buyers are skeptical of a guildless kid. He nervously tells them to mind their business. All he wants to know is the price. This offer is 1 million. He can't believe the amount of money. A new day dawns over the city. He checks his phone, his account balance glowing. 1 million yen deposited. He can't believe it. With this money, he can finally live. Buy new clothes, get a haircut, eat a decent meal. Elsewhere in a lavish room, a muscular man polishes a wicked blade. An assistant in a suit enters with a report. A gate appeared in a cemetery, leaking immense mana. Inside they found the dungeon boss burned to ash. This firepower was extraordinary beyond most S-ranks, but the holy relic they sought was gone. This muscular collector considers the news. Was it a simple thief or a rival, someone with the same skill hunting the same prize? A competitor would be troublesome. He stands, his decision made. They will not lose the relic to anyone. He unleashes a terrifying aura. It's time to send a violent greeting. Meanwhile, our boy leaves a bathhouse refreshed. He feels clear-headed for the first time in ages. Someone is waiting for him, a woman with silver hair and an eye patch. She looks at him, sensing a change in his aura. This eye patch woman is visibly surprised. He speaks of his past, his motivation, of the things he wants to protect, and the people he needs to find again. This is why he must grow stronger. A resolve that will not be broken. She looks at him, asking for his help. And in the next breath, she refuses. He's stunned, begging her to reconsider, but she has a condition for her aid. He must find the legendary sword of Firbois, a name he knows all too well, Jean's relic.